generation, I was waiting to shine. My father taught me don't be soft, so now I'm taking what's mine. I define myself as ambitious, young, black, and gifted. Master P, my masterpiece, that mean I don't got no limits. Bout it, I doubt it. My homies know you ain't right it. We break you down like a pound. I got it, don't panic surround me. I'm corrupted, flow cold and it's rugged, bumpy. What is up? I'm ready for war. You got to love it like black, yeah. And it feel like, yeah. All day like, yeah. All night like, yeah. Whole squad like, what? And it feel like, yeah. All day like, yeah. All night like, what? Whole squad like, yeah. And it feel like, yeah. All day like, yeah. All night like, yeah. Whole squad like, yeah. And it feel like, yeah. All day like, yeah. All night like, yeah. You don't want problems. You don't want smoke, dog. You don't want problems. Yeah, you don't want problems. You don't want smoke, dog. You don't want problems. Yeah, you don't want problems. You don't want smoke, dog. You don't want problems. No, I said you don't want problems. You don't want smoke, dog. You don't want.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to Western Pennsylvania and Heinz Field in the Steel City of Pittsburgh. This was the scene just a few moments ago as the Pittsburgh faithful were fired up by the hometown Steelers taking the field. They're all set as they'll match up with Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. Two one-loss teams set to lace it up. This ought to be fun, and we're underway on EA Sports. This will be taken about the 12. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34.
At their own 34-yard line.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Now a first-time 1,000-yard rusher from a season ago, it's Derrick Henry. And Henry's hit. He lost the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. On 2nd down now, it's Henry. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Little trouble thus far on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 11. Henry out of the pistol. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down. And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard. And he'll be brought down with the 1st down and a late flag here, too. And he may get a few more tacked on for good measure. Now it's 1st and 10 after a costly penalty there on 4th down. After the penalty, it's Henry. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And this is caught at the 8. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. The sack by T.J. Watt, or as his mother Connie calls him, Trent Jordan Watt.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. A nice job of eluding the pressure there, scrambling for 11.
You know, I don't think this is the last time we'll see that in this game. This guy has mobility, and they want to use his legs in the game plan. So there'll be design runs as well as his scrambles.
On 3rd and goal, Wilson to the goal line, but it's incomplete. So they opted to pass for it on 3rd and goal. Let's see what they do on 4th and goal.
Well, I think they threw it with the idea that if they didn't get it, they would go for it on 4th and goal. So they've got another play in their pocket. They're going to have to call it right now. No field goal here.
And Myers able to knock it through. And the Seahawks grab a 3-0 lead. In the end, the opening drive, Charles, does yield points. Maybe not the touchdown that they wanted, though.
Yeah, but bottom line, they wanted to get something out of that drive, and they did that. 3 points, they won't turn that down at all.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line.
At their own 23-yard line.
Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 23. This is a guy who made a Pro Bowl in his 2nd season, James Conner. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys and continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well.
And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. 12 yards there and a 1st down. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. On 1st and 10 is Conner. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. In on the tackle there, Bobby Wagner, coming off a 3rd straight All-Pro season.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Now it's Roethlisberger. His throw incomplete. There in coverage to knock it away, Marquise Blair. The secondary, Charles, much maligned during the week. They didn't have their best game in the loss last week, but a nice play there.
Yeah, and I just know what they went through last week. I mean, ever since that time, their pride was hurt. They kept getting reminded of it in the local media, had to watch it on tape, and you know the coaches just got after them. They came in ready to play.
Rolling to his left. Open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. That's good for 28 yards.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, he was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football.
And he lost the football. So they escape, so to speak, maintaining the football. Defensively, though, opportunity miss.
It definitely was, because that's all defenses talk about. Getting the football and either advancing it the other way or just getting possession and turning it over to their offense. That can be a little bit deflating. You're exactly right. A lost opportunity.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And he'll take this back all the way up past the 45-yard line. But no doubt, a very disappointing end to what was a pretty strong opening drive.
They had 3 points in their back pocket. It was there for them. If you don't like what you see, just throw it away. Make sure you get those.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Mark Barron coming in hard there on the blitz, and he gets him 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
After the sack on first down, Wilson over the middle. That's caught by Metcalf. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. They had the catch on second down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at third down here. Play action. It's Wilson. He's going to go for a big play downfield. It's caught inside the 25. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain.
First down, Seattle.
3-15. Still got 4 down, 4 down. Watch the twist, watch the twist.
Wilson leaves this one with Penny, and he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9.
Let's go, let's do it.
Seems as if the passing attack's starting to heat up a little bit here in the second quarter.
You can sense and you can see the momentum, because now they're reading their patterns downfield, they're understanding the coverages, and they're finding the open holes in the defense.
And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
So first down went in the wrong direction. They're at the 13-yard line. Here's second and goal. Now Wilson. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes third and goal. Here's Henry. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Derrick Henry. Henry. His second touchdown on the season. Yeah, the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. Of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. On second down, Connor looking for space. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down.
Ain't no such thing as a loss. We taking wins home. Quarter.
Here's Roethlisberger to throw. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Tedrick Thompson picks it. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line. After the interception, here's Wilson. And the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. Now the play goes for 19 yards, gives him a new set of downs. On 1st down, Wilson. That is caught inside the 5. And he coughed it up. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs.
And Big Ben intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off at the 12, and he'll be down at the 6-yard line. And that pick just sets him up beautifully right down near the goal line.
I remember being in a defensive meeting back when I was in college, and our defensive coordinator says, we're going to call this Be Who You Are defense. D linemen, you play the run. Linebackers, be aware of anything. And secondary, you play the pass. That way, you're all set, ready for whatever they put out there.
26 months. Watch the run.
from the shotgun. Wilson. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. DK Metcalf with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. Myers connects on the PAT, and that makes our score 17-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down. No, but hold on, let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. Now Roethlisberger. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage, because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, people say bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
Great blocking, nearly sprung him there. 28-yard return. And the Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field. Play action. Now Wilson. Left side here taken in by Metcalf. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. The extra point now coming from Myers. And the lead is now 24. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Jack 16.
On 2nd down, Samuels. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Give him 14 on that one and a first down. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. That one into the hands of his tailback, Samuels. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
A reminder coming up at halftime. We'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this 2nd week of the regular season. This is counter. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now Roethlisberger to throw. And he finds McDonald. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 45-yard line. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They give to Benjamin on the end around. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. So back at the midfield stripe now. They'll come up 2nd and long. And they'll try the jet sweep here. And he's got this to the 30 before being taken down. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Roethlisberger. Flushed out right. Out right, he gets this one to Switzer. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Ryan Switzer, his first touchdown here of the new campaign, as they are now on the board here in the first half. Chris Boswell now for the extra point. He's got it, and that makes our score 24-7. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
At their own 28-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying to.
Pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back. T.J. Watt causing the disruption. He gets the sack. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. So we've come upon halftime with the visiting Seahawks. They're out in front. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, an abbreviated halftime show as we get rolling to quarter 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments. Accelerating, and off he goes. 30, the 20, 10. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. James Conner, 81 yards. And the Steelers are able to close the gap just a bit. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the third quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there's an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
So the lead back down to 10 as things get a little more interesting, and the kick is away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They've got to right the ship. They had a great first half, but the lead has really gone down. Now, you always talk about the adjustment to the adjustment. They've got to adjust right here.
And I think a lot of it is just mentally. Get back to doing what you were doing well in the beginning of the game, but a lot of that is playing with that emotion and that sense of pride and fire that sometimes goes away a little bit when you build up a lead. You think you've got it going, and you also think at any moment I can go ahead and go back to the way it was before. You and I both know it's not that easy once you get off the gas a little.
Yeah, they don't want to see this lead. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Cam Hayward, always a force, got back there for the sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Now it's Wilson. Dancing to his left. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. He'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3, but now it's third down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
Third and long. It's Wilson to the right side and complete to Metcalf. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 28.
First down, Seattle.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's first and 10 as they've got it to the 28-yard line. Here's Wilson to throw. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Making a hat trick for Russell Wilson. 3 touchdown passes now. Yeah, the Seahawks, they're able to stretch that lead out a bit further.
Sometimes when I see these types of plays executed, I think of basketball. Guys boxing other guys off to go out and get a rebound.
And he got the rebound right there. But the defense was really placed well.
Yeah, they were right there. I mean, that's where it's really tough for a defender. When you're in the right spot, you're draped on the guy catching the ball, yet he still comes down with it.
And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Here we go. Here we go.
The Steelers pick
Here we go.
first and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They did what they had to do to start this third quarter, went down, got the touchdown to cut the lead, but the matching touchdown a moment ago, and we're right back where we started at halftime.
Yeah, you're exactly right, partner. They had a little bounce in their step after scoring that first touchdown, but the defense gave one up, and that's the problem right now. Can they get better play from their defense while they continue to score on offense?
On second down, Samuels. And not much, maybe a yard up to the 29.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. It's a quarterback sneak. And they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first. Only a yard there on the keeper, but that's all he needed. First down.
There may have been a little bit of an element of surprise there. 3rd and inches, and they go quarterback sneak. I still feel like this is a play that often is reserved for 4th down.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Ben leaves to counter on the draw. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Man, These guys may not win this ball game, but you certainly can't fault the effort of this man here today. He's been a real thorn in their sides all afternoon. And that last carry puts him over the 100-yard mark.
Here's the fullback. This is Roosevelt Nix. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 12 yards there and a first down.
Watching that run takes me back to something a famous old coach once said. Any player he wants on his team, he wants him to be agile, mobile, and most definitely hostile.
They'll run on first down. Connor, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd and 12.
At the Seahawks 49-yard
All right, now. Block 80. Mike 54. Yo.
Now they'll throw it with Roethlisberger. Forced out to his left. And McDonald here over the middle. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 23.
Mike 54. Hey, come on out here. Come get some.
On first down, it's Connor. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
Easy work. It's easy work, and it's coming again.
on the Seahawks 23-yard line.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. They go draw play. This is Samuels. And he's going to get this one down inside the 15. And he's going to get this pretty close to a first down as the tackle is made at the Seahawks 14. 9th play coming up here on this drive. This is 3rd and a yard. And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he will have the first down before he's tackled at the 12. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. Play fake to Connor. Now Roethlisberger rolling to his right. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up 2nd down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Play action. Now Roethlisberger being chased out left. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Credit the sack to Shaquem Griffin. And here the pressure from the outside linebacking spot.
And normally when that happens and they're able to get home, that means other guys on his team helped him out a lot. That they occupied people to allow it to be no less than a one-on-one situation, allows him to get home.
That is caught. It's Juju for the Steeler touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Steelers are able to cut into that deficit. Extra point now by Boswell. And oh, it's no good on the PAT, so they can't add on here. And our score is going to stay right where it is. Back now in Pittsburgh, where the 4th quarter will begin with a kickoff following the score on the final play of the 3rd quarter. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line.
At their own 27-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
2nd and 7 at the 30-yard line.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. 10th carry now for Derrick Henry. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Cameron Hayward in on the tackle. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. The Steelers now in the nickel here on 3rd down. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. And that is incomplete. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Here's Switzer. Dances by him. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Steelers are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
Watch the screen, watch the screen, watch the screen.
They'll start out here with a jet sweep. And a nice gain there as he'll be taken down just shy of the 20. Making the stop that time, Bobby Wagner.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Block 80. Check. Watch 54. Watch Nicholas. 66.
To throw on 2nd and 6. Roethlisberger. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
You got to give some credit there, able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and give him some type of a pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. To throw here, Roethlisberger. Buying time to his left. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. They convert on 3rd with a gain of 22.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown.
Black 30. Black 50. Check black 50. Black, what's that? Black, what's that?
On 1st down, it's Roethlisberger. Escaping the pressure right. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback.
And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down. Bud Dupree, he's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Derrick Henry. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. Sean Davis that time on the tackle.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Under 4 to play now. Clock running. 3rd down. And the play clock is going to run out here. They're in no hurry to get a play off. He didn't even try to signal for a timeout, so they must have not been aware of the numbers.
I think he lost track of the time left in the play clock and probably was trying to read the defense and trying to figure out which play to run and just lost track, and it cost him.
After the delay, they're backed up even further for 3rd and long. They'll run it again with Henry. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. It's a 7-yard run, but it does bring up 4th down.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. Now here's Michael Dixon as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver. But it's going to be 2nd down. So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Here's Roethlisberger. Flush to his right. To the right side and complete to Washington. And he does take it in for the touchdown, but a flag on the field, and I don't think this is going to stand.
Yeah, don't put the points on the board just yet.
Now after the holding call, here's 2nd and 20.
Ricky.
From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Roethlisberger will throw. Now a leaping catch. He's got it. Down under 2 minutes to go in this football game. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. 2nd and long, but you got to figure this almost certainly another run. Again, it's Henry. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. They get just a yard back there, and now they'll be looking at a tough 3rd and 15. They'll run with Henry. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down. Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket.
The Steelers take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Throwing now, Roethlisberger on 1st down. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. He's going to let it fly. And this will be caught at the 30. There he goes, left side. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Juju Smith-Schuster, an 80-yard touchdown as his guys are back within a single score. So certainly some importance to this one now. After the touchdown, they could get this down to a field goal with a 2-point conversion. Connor going to try and run it. And he will get into the end zone as a 2-point conversion is successful. And the lead is down to a field goal here in the 4th.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Now Wilson. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Bud Dupree able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Wilson of the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here.
26 Mike. Wrap it. 26.
Here's Wilson. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That one good for 24 yards.
24-yard gain on the play.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. So the victory here for Seattle. And this not always an easy proposition, Charles. You had a West Coast team that traveled east, but they got the job done.
And there's so much that goes into it because your body time and your body clock different from what you're used to west, because if you go east, you're going to lose up to 3 hours, right? So is your body going to be awake when it's time to play? A lot of teams actually rehearse it. They practice it. Maybe the week of the game, they move everything up to that time frame. I remember when I played at Tennessee, when we had to go from east to west, our trainer, Tim Karen, said, leave your watches on East Coast time. Every piece of information we got was East Coast Standard Time. Try to psychologically tell us what to do, as well as prepare our bodies the same way.
So for the Seahawks, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Steelers, they'll drop to 0-2. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Santa Clara to take on the 49ers.